you lose your first job, like me, at the age of 22, you learn that, kal subah mummy ka khana milega, it's no problem. There's nothing much to lose. And this is something very important for you guys. Don't base your decisions on the advice of those who don't have to deal with the results. Like me. I'm giving you advice right now. Yes? And some of you might say, man, I heard this talk, and it made sense to me. Now I'm going to do what he told me to do. I don't have to live with your results. Right? You might go and destroy your life, and I'll be like, tough luck. And people like that are around you everywhere. The chachas, the chachis, mamas, mummies that tell you what you should do with your life. Even your parents. Right? Parents, it's like really tricky. My father wanted me to do something which was very different from what I wanted to do. And it's so hard early in life. Because, they have this trump card. They're like, okay, so what's your plan? You don't have a plan? Of course not. They know that. They know you don't have a plan. You know why they know you don't have a plan? Because they don't either. Nobody has a plan. You just discover that when you turn 30 and you're like, oh my God, nobody has a plan. Why have I been looking for a plan? Nobody knows what's going to happen. You just have some experience and some ideas. So if you're going to live with the decisions you make, well, then you better base it on what you think is the right thing to do. Okay? This is another very important lesson. I'll just give you a chance to read it. So it says, कुत्तों का कोई संडे नहीं होता. कुत्ते सातों दिन संडे कुत्ते होते. Which is a great lesson, My son today, he woke me up at 8 in the morning. He slept at 1, and I was like, God, don't you need sleep? And then I remembered this line. I'm like, right, कुत्तों का कोई संडे नहीं होता. My point is that when you're really young, you don't try a lot of things because you think, no, I have to be amazing to do it. I probably won't succeed at this. This guy is so much better than me. That guy is so much better than me. This person is so much better than me. What you start to discover is that the people that succeed are just people that turn up. That's why, and my professor told me when I was 21, he told me this. He said, Anas, you're smart, but an average guy is going to kick your ass. And I was like, what's he talking about? And then my friend was like, he thinks you're smart. I was like, oh yeah, that's a good one. Focus on that. But my point is, he said an average man will beat you because he's going to work harder than you. And that's, it's like maybe APJ Abdul Kalam's job you can't do by working harder because you need to be really smart. But trust me, most of the jobs in the world, 99.9%, Donald Trump can be president. Do you understand? Do you understand? Like, I when he became president, I was like, no. He's going to get fired after 3 weeks. He's doing a great job. You get me? I thought that he would burn down White House or something. No, he's fine. They might even elect him again. So my point is that 99.9% of jobs can be done by anybody. You just have to turn up. And Woody Allen's a really smart guy. He's really old and he's still making movies, I kind of compare him to Devanand from India, and Devanand was like, he gave so many flops. I think that guy was a genius. He gave so many flops, and he was like, my next movie. That's an amazing attitude. He didn't care. He just kept making stuff. That's really important. Most of success is just turning up. And real success happens when it doesn't even matter anymore. Like for Mr. Devan. Trust me, this is a big one. This is really important. When you want it too much, you don't want it for the right reasons. If you want $1 million tomorrow, trust me, you don't want it for the right reasons. And it would be terrible if you got that. It would be terrible. It would be a curse if you got what you wanted tomorrow. The whole process is important. When you get success by going through the process, and I have never seen anybody succeed who does not enjoy the process of achieving success. It's when you start enjoying the process that success is just a byproduct of that. So focus on that, focus on the process. Throughout my 20s, I kept thinking, when I become marketing manager, when I become brand head, when I was never where I had to be in that moment. And there was this beautiful moment, I think it was like exactly at the age of 30, when I just realized, I have a job, it's a nice job, it's interesting. Let's stay here mentally, not my next job. Let's stay here and let's see what we can do with it. And everything changed. Everything changed. I became really good at my job. And then I got all the jobs that I'd always wanted, but it didn't matter anymore. Wherever I was happy. Do you understand? Another big, very important point about success, be very afraid of success that you can recognize very easily. So, easily recognizable success, $1 million. If I say $1 million, everybody's like, yeah, success. Mercedes, everybody's like, yes, success. Swimming pool in the house, in the backyard, success. Right? But actually that isn't really, I'm not going to say that's not success. But those are things. $1 million is money. Swimming pool in the house is a real estate property. Car is an automobile. That's not success. It's success because you all agreed that this is success. And would you let me choose for you dinner? You would? My God, this guy's amazing. He's so trusting. I would not. I eat some really weird stuff. So I wouldn't let another person choose dinner for me. I wouldn't let another person choose my shoes for me. This is what happens when somebody else chooses. My brother bought these shoes for me. You get me? All of my other shoes are wet, so I have to wear these things. These are nice shoes. But my point is that if you let somebody else choose stuff for you, bad things happen. Look at these shoes. I feel like I'm wearing platform shoes. So bad things happen when you let other people choose for you. But you have let them do that for success. Everybody else has told you what success means for you. Because you haven't really thought about it. And you're going to spend your 20s chasing stuff that you don't really want. Like I did. I chased more money. I chased a particular car. And I chased a particular kind of job in a particular kind of company. And when I got it, I was like, oh, this is so boring. It's so boring. You don't understand. When you turn 30, you are bored if you have lived the way I lived. Really, really bored. And then it's so hard to turn up the next day for work because you don't like what you do. And you've just been chasing really dull stuff that people told you is important. I was the youngest marketing manager the youngest brand manager. I was the youngest something else. I don't remember exactly the three things that I was the youngest at. And I was really miserable. Yes, really miserable. But there was always this satisfaction that, I'm the youngest marketing manager, so I will probably be the youngest vice president. And then I'll probably be the youngest CEO. It does not work like that. And what that does is that it makes you a little relaxed. And you think success is guaranteed. You understand? So try to avoid being the youngest anything. And if somebody tells you, in 30 years, you're the youngest guy who got admission in my college, you should be like, then what? What are people my age what should they be doing? Maybe I'm doing the wrong thing. Right? Maybe there are experiences that I need to have. Maybe I'm in the wrong place. I was thinking about that. So that's Neil Armstrong. He took 5 photos of the moon, So one really important lesson that, I was talking about that nobody has a plan, really important lesson. The world is incredibly stupid. It's amazing how stupid it is. So 2 things will happen. Either you'll fit in my case, I fit in nicely into this world, or you will be outstanding. There is no bad case scenario. Do you understand? You never have to worry. Am I too stupid for the word? No, you don't have to worry. You're smart enough. What do I mean? Look around you. Look at our roads. Look at how we power everything. You know, we're burning fossil fuels, we have renewables, we have solutions. It's not like, oh, kya karenge? No, we have solutions. You can switch to solar, you can switch to renewables. They're not doing it, right? And you think to yourself, there must be a good reason why. No. It's just that they're greedy and stupid. My point is not to walk around the world and think, oh, I'm amazing. No, the point is that you give yourself permission to think, I'm going to change the world. That's the important thing. If you start giving yourself permission that, you know, I'm going to change how architecture happens, I'm going to change how companies are monetized, I'm going to change how psychology happens, I'm going to change how teaching happens. I run 2 schools and I work with people who have been in education for 15 years, and when I look at what they do inside classrooms, I think to myself, oh my God, what happened? For the first 2 years, I was so confused that I did not believe what I saw. I thought, no, there must be some secret. There must be some secret, you know. It's not possible that education happens like this, and it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Do you know what happens inside a classroom? Have you been inside a classroom in the past 1 year? What happens? Somebody like me comes and starts talking. He talks about something that you're not interested in. Yes? That you can watch in a YouTube video. Right? He does not ask you whether you understood. He doesn't send you a WhatsApp message with a question that you can answer back, and he can immediately check whether you understood or not. Right? No. If he wants to ask you, he'll be like, "Samajh mein aaya?" Okay. Now imagine doing that with really small kids. And you know what happens in classrooms? Over 3 days, a unit takes place. The first day, the teacher explains what's inside. The second day, the teacher tells you what you have to write as an answer. And the third day, you write that answer. And that's it. And how do we test whether they learned that? If he can write exactly what I made him write. You know? What skill set is that? How is that going to reward him in the future? So we all know this, right? You all know this, right? It's not rocket science. Still happening. Everywhere. For the last 70 years. So that's how stupid the world is. So, if you believe that the world is really smart, you won't change anything. If you believe the world is stupid, you're going to change a lot of things. Right? The most important thing that I can think of, I wish I'd done in my 20s, I wish I'd started running when I was 20. I started running when I was 30, it changed my life. It just changed my life. It transformed me. If I can tell you, take one thing away from today, start running. It's a beautiful meditation. It's one of the greatest meditations. It's not a coincidence that Gandhiji liked to walk, that Steve Jobs liked to walk, that Zuckerberg likes to walk, that Charles Dickens liked to walk, that Darwin liked to walk. All great men, Mark Twain, walk, run, long distances. There is great peace in this thing. And your brain truly starts switching on when you run. Once you cross 10 kilometers, that's when your mind starts thinking. And winning is a really bad thing. Really, it's a terrible thing. You know what happens when you win a lot? When you win a lot, you like winning. And then you stick to it. And then you think of everything कि मैं इस चीज़ को वैसे करूँगा कि guaranteed victory हो. Like, for example, अगर मैं class में first आ गया, that's horrible. Because अब मेरा पूरा focus knowledge नहीं है. अब मेरा पूरा focus है first आना. तो मेरे जैसा गधा जो 25th आ रहा हो class में, he is more blessed because, you know, he'll be like, first तो आ नहीं सकते. तो ये कहानी पढ़ लेते हैं. Right? And he will end up learning more, and over time he will outgrow you. Okay? So don't wait for a degree to get started. You know, I want to learn psychology. I really like psychology, and I always want to learn psychology. But because I am full of fear, I did an MBA. I was like, मुझे कौन नौकरी देगा? Psychology में क्या होता है? मैं MBA कर लेता हूँ. Alright, so I did an MBA. Then I got a job in marketing and I did that for 10 years. And I always thought I'm going to go back and I'm going to get a degree in psychology and then I'll work in psychology. And maybe a couple of years ago, I realized, just last summer, I went to a college and I looked at their syllabus and I was about to take admission. I went with Adam and I went to look at their syllabus and I looked at it. I had read it all. Their entire syllabus, I had already read it. I knew it. So why that piece of paper? And how many of you want to know whether I have a psychology degree or not? And if you really need it badly, thankfully Sharma ji hai. Yeah. Sharma ji will hook me up. There's no problem. There's a really nice university in Sagar, where he can just purchase the degree. My point is not don't purchase the degree. My point is that it's a piece of paper. It's what you know that counts. And what are you waiting for? If you want to do something, just get started. Just get started. Think of it. The number one name in self-help is not a psychologist. Tony Robbins doesn't know any. He knows psychology, but he doesn't have a degree. Right? The number one guy in technology doesn't have a degree in technology. It's just an excuse to not get started because you're scared. So stop being scared. Get started. And obviously, do not plan your life. I had a fantastic plan. I had a really nice plan. If my plan had worked out, it would have been amazing. But it didn't, obviously. The recession happened in 2008. And when the recession happened, my eyes opened and I realized, all of this stuff is based on such flimsy and weak ideas. There's no way you can plan your life. All you can do is truly be in the moment right now and try to extract as much as you can, not just from living, but from learning, from knowledge, from being here. And trust me, that is a great plan. Because that will guarantee that wherever you will go as a complete person. And you will thrive in the future. My first job was a terrible job. I had to recover from my first job, My first job made me believe that I was a complete idiot, which I am, but they didn't know that. My first job was a horrible place. Everybody's first job is generally pretty bad. And there's a very simple reason for that. You're just getting started. Right? You're just getting started. It's like going to I have a small son, his name is Zidan. So it's like going to him and telling him, Zidan, you are like such a terrible runner. What's wrong with you? You should be ashamed of yourself. I outrun you every time. What is the use of having you, Zidan? Right? That sounds horrible. That's what they do to you in your first job. They'll be like, Anas, you can't scan. I could not scan, man. I was from Indore, 1999. I had never seen a scanner. They're like, कहाँ से आया हो? कौन से गांव से आया हो? तुम्हें scan करना नहीं आता? So I was like, मुझे scan करना नहीं आता. Teach me once and then that's it. Why do you have to? But they do that to you so many different ways. And so you end up thinking to yourself, I'm completely useless. But you're not. You're not, and it's just your first job. And try not to be nice. What do I mean by that? It's very important to understand it. A nice person is nice to everybody. Right? He's nice to everybody. And I was a really nice person. And I think I was a really nice person because I was afraid that people would not like me. And what happens when you try to make people like you is that you don't have standards. Right? You don't really, you have standards but you ignore them. And you hang out with people that you don't like. Or you would not like if you were not worried about them not liking you. Right? So, the greatest thing that I learned when I turned 30 was I spent a lot of time with very toxic people. And it was just to be nice. And it was the worst thing that I could have done to myself. I hurt myself far more than I needed to. Please, don't try to be a nice person. Be a good person. Have standards. And you won't have to be nice to anybody. People will still be around you. But but be very nice to yourself, because no one else is interested in being nice to you. Absolutely no one. Everybody's agenda, maybe consciously or unconsciously, is to bring you down. And the only person in your corner often, other than your parents, is you. So be incredibly supportive. Be incredibly supportive to yourself, you know. Think about what you like. Like when I was working, often there would be like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday I'd be like, today Anas doesn't really feel like it. Today, Anas doesn't. I think Anas needs some me time. So Anas is not going to go to work today. Anas is going to go to a coffee shop and sit and drink coffee. And everybody told me it would be really bad for my career. But you know, it wasn't that bad. Because when Anas came to work on Thursday, he was filled with ideas. Do you understand? So you have to be really nice to yourself, not just from a psychological point of view, but even from a productive point of view, in terms of contribution to the world. Being nice to yourself will pay off in the long run. And everybody's scared. Do you know how this session started? Did you notice there was this nervous energy everywhere? Yes? Do you know why we're all so scared? It's because we think everybody's judging us. And you know what everybody's doing in that exact moment? Being scared. So nobody's really focused on anybody else. We're all just worried about ourselves. You understand? And that's how the world is everywhere. Everyone is just scared. And imagine in this world, if there are fewer people that are scared, this place would become amazing. Wouldn't it? When we're scared, we do stupid things. We do really dumb things. We're not ourselves. And then we go home and we think, God, I should have said that. You know? I could have said that. Or, why was I walking around like that? My point is that train yourself to be less scared most of the time, and you discover that you kind of enjoy life a little more. People like you, and there's not much to be scared of. Everybody's really, really scared. You know, despite what your mother told you, you're not special. I know she thinks that you're really special and मेरा बेटा दुनिया में इसको ये लड़की फंसा लेगी. He's not that pretty, you know, he's not that amazing. कोई नहीं फंसा रहा उसको. But फिर भी, somewhere our parents communicate to us that we're special. And I think that's a really dangerous idea. Why? Because you walk around disappointed with your life. Because the reality is that you're not special. But you are something that is much better than special, and that is free. You're a free man. All of your prisons are made by you. All of your prisons. The prisons of other people's judgment, that's your prison. You made that. The prison of other people's expectation, you made that prison. Disappointment with your life, trust me, most people are not actually disappointed with their life. They're disappointed that their life doesn't seem amazing to other people. So all of these are self-made prisons, and if you dismantle them one by one, you become free. And that's an amazing experience. It's so much better than special. Does anybody watch The Flash? The Flash, it's a really nice TV series. Me and Adam watch it all the time. And Flash he's really fast. He has super speed. He is special. But that poor guy has a really terrible life. Because, you know, other people come, they try to kill people that he loves, and, you know, he's constantly running from one robbery to another. He has no time to date, no time to do anything else. My point is, that's what special looks like. That's not what free looks like. Free is the opposite of the Flash. Which brings me to the things that really matter are not what you think they are. When I turned 30 and Adam was born, and I look back at my 20s, and the nice thing is that I keep a diary. Okay? So I have a journal. So I will sometimes flip through a journal from 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and I see the kind of things that I'm worried about. And they're stupid things. They're just idiotic. You know, I'm worried that Thomas wants to fire me. No, Thomas doesn't want to fire you. He's just in a bad mood. You understand? There are hundreds and hundreds of days spent thinking that I'm worried about this. I think that this way. I think think that if I don't get this job, and then when you turn 30, 31, 10 years pass by, you look back at your life and you think, oh my God, why didn't I go to the beach more often? Why didn't I go for a run? Why didn't I do these things? Why didn't I enjoy my life a little more? What was I worried about? And they're all stupid things. Let me give you an example. When I was doing MBA, there was this really, really pretty girl that I was dating. She was really beautiful, okay? And completely out of my league. Completely out of my league. So I got lucky. So here I am with her. And throughout my MBA, I spent all my time with her. Alright? And people around me, they looked at me filled with judgment, thinking that he's not going to get placed. I didn't get placed. He's not going to do anything with his life. He's just walking around, this beautiful girl. And sometimes I internalize that. So I thought to myself, yeah man, they're right. Man, if I'm poor, she'll probably leave me. You know? Or, I don't think I thought that. To be honest, I thought that मेरी job नहीं लगेगी, आपको बहुत मारेगा. So my point is that I worried about that stuff a lot. I worried that मेरा job कहाँ पे लगेगा, what will I do with my life, blah blah blah. 10 years later, I'm married to that woman. I have this beautiful kid. Yeah, same woman. I have this beautiful kid. And when he was born, I was like, thank God I didn't worry about the job. You know? Think about how much I would have missed out on. I would have missed out on an amazing life. Look, when throughout my 20s we were both working, neither of us, well, my wife is really good at what she does. I was very average. But the two of us, we were comfortable, we had a good life, everything was alright. I didn't really need to worry about that job. But imagine if I stopped hanging out with her, you know, and worried about the job, then I would have been bored, fat, and alone. At least now I'm bored, fat, and not alone, you know. So the things that really matter, you have no clue what they are. Try to figure out what they are. Over the long run, these things matter far more than TNG में job लगना, जो कि मेरा नहीं लगा. And very important, which comes back to this, that you don't really know what matters. When I was 17 years old, I found this Reader's Digest की एक पुरानी copy, and उसमें there was like, it was all about making a better life. So one of the sections was about breathing. Now, when I was in Indore, when I was 17, this was 1999. There was no internet. Okay? And I was doing BCom from Government Arts and Commerce College. And I attended over 3 years, 5 days. So there was no college. And I had no friends. So, मुझे जो भी मिलता था मैं पढ़ता था. Alright? So I started reading this book. And I had a lot of time. So in this book, there was this thing about breathing exercises. Alright? That, you know, do these breathing exercises. So me having nothing to do, I started doing those breathing exercises. And I kept practicing them morning, night. And then I found another book, Silva Mind Control Method. Apparently with Silva Mind Control Method, you can make the future. So I had nothing to do. I would practice meditation from Silva Mind Control Method and go up on my roof and try to break up the clouds. Once it happened. It took a long time, but it happened. Once I imagined that a helicopter will come and it was a plane. That's close enough. I mean, 1999 Indore, दिन में एक plane निकलता था and I did not know the time. So it was a miracle, trust me. So my point is that I did a lot of these things. A lot of these really silly things that I played. Like I love tennis. So I used to play a lot of tennis. And at that time, I'm sure I had to be focused. So at that time, I used to think, all of this is useless. I need to do something good. I need to get into IIM. That will make my life. I need to do this. I need to do that. Thankfully, none of that worked out. But my point is that I did a lot of these things. And when I was in Dubai, I remember I was 28 years old. And I looked around. And there were so many people doing those amazing things that I used to do for fun. One guy had his own studio where he used to teach breathing. One person had their own studio where they used to teach yoga. One person had their own studio where they taught meditation. All of the things that I thought there's no future in. They had better jobs than me. They made more money than me. They had a great lifestyle. And they did it doing things that were fun, that appealed to them, that I did in the dark. You understand? That's what I mean when I say play in the dark. You have no idea what thing will have value for people. If you enjoy doing something, do it well, do a lot of it. Don't worry about the future. Trust me, this is probably a better guarantee of having a good future than a piece of paper. Like my son loves playing Lego. He plays a lot of Lego. So sometimes I try to encourage him to drop out of school and play Lego. Like don't go to school today. I'm trying to homeschool him, he's not convinced. So my point is that I want him to give up on a lot of things which people think that he has to do the things that he loves. And because I have seen that with my own eyes and my own experience, that stuff pays off. It really pays off. And we sit here and we think that we can predict the future, that we can anticipate it. But in the future, your best version is probably going to succeed. And your best version will be something that you enjoy. Make sense? Well, that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you for such an insightful speech. Now, okay, we have a really exciting activity now based on Mr. Khan's speech. So let's talk about